Hello, everyone. My name is Fernando Moreira from Worldwide Trackers. I've been teaching tracking classes across the United States, pretty much across the world, since 1995. I have taught classes for the military, law enforcement, search and rescue, and private contractors. And I do this now full time since 1995. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of survival classes coming up. Everybody wants to learn the basics in survival, starting fires, shelters, making bows, making baskets, all this kind of stuff. Let me ask you, is that going to save your life and your family's life? Possible. It's a good skill that everyone should know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But also, do you think you should know the basics of man tracking? To track yourself out of the situation in case something happens to you or your children, your husband and wife, that's it. Yeah, you should. And that's one of the skills that many people does not know what it's all about when it comes to tracking. Some students takes a basic tracking class, immediately, they become instructors with no skills. They never save anyone's life. They don't know what's going on out there. But you know what? They call paper instructors. I am not that way. I've been doing this most of my life. I'm a member of the search and rescue team for over 30 years. And I belong to 17 search and rescue teams across the United States. Do I am better than anybody else? No, I am not. But I invest my time every single day in training. And that is what makes me a good tracker. Every time I turn the TV on, I always notice a lot of missing children out there, Alzheimer's, missing people everywhere. Do you think if they know the basics of man tracking, they can turn around and backtrack themselves out of the situation, put themselves back to safe? Yes. That's, I will guarantee you, that it can save your life in case you got separated from a hiking group, for example. Or you're going for a hike and you think you know the area and you take the wrong trail. Can you backtrack yourself out of the situation? Sure. Don't forget that search and rescue is actually a volunteer team. They're spending a lot of time out of their own just to be able to help lost people over there with injuries, with medical things like that. It's not always dogs that's going to find you. And also has the skill of trackers that might going to find you. I've saved many lives in the past, and I'm sure that I'm going to save more lives in the future. If you would wish to learn the basics of tracking, please visit my website, which is worldwidetrackers.co. My name is Fernando Moreira. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Let me share a few more tips with you. Do you think, if you know the basics in tracking, that you also can be able to track yourself during the dark and put yourself back to safety where you started from? Sure you can. Only thing you need to use is just a flashlight, and you know the basics of tracking. You can backtrack yourself out of there. Now let me ask you a personal question. Since there's so many survival schools out there that teach survival stuff, so if you get lost on the side of the trail and you're about 4 or 5 miles away from the starting point, are you going to stop? You're going to make yourself a little basket? Are you going to stop and make yourself a little bowl to kill the animal to be able to eat? Are you going to stop and set up shelter? Are you going to stop? You're going to set up fire? Are you going to collect water? Or are you going to try to backtrack yourself safe? All these little tricks, sure, it may help you if you're planning to stay there for a month at a time. Oh yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, definitely, survival is the way to go. But if you go for a day hike or a 2-day hike, or go across the Crest Pacific Trail, definitely you need to know some of the basics to be able to survive. But in case something bad happens to you, you think it would be a good idea for you to know the basics in tracking and backtrack yourselves out of the situation? Think about that for a second. And that's one of the skills that nobody wants to take is a tracking class because they don't know anything about it. In these days, everybody cuts corners. Everybody trusts the cell phone. Everybody thinks that cell phones is the ones going to save their lives. Or even a GPS, that the battery's going to die, that your GPS going to die. Yeah, definitely. And how many of you know how to use mapping compass or even a GPS? Did you mark waypoints on your GPS? That way you can backtrack yourself from waypoint to waypoint, things like that. About if you twist an ankle, how about if you break a leg? Did you know the basics in medical to take care of yourself? Well, you might know all this. But you know what? You can be safe, you can be in place, waiting for what? For search and rescue to be able to arrive, to be able to search, be able to find you, and bring you back to safe. So, at the beginning of the trail, do you think would be a good idea, for example, if you get the floor mat out of your personal vehicle, grab a piece of aluminum foil, step in on the top of the floor mat, and then step on it. So that way you can leave a perfect set of footprints on a piece of aluminum foil and leave it inside the windshield of your car. In case something happens to you and the local search and rescue team shows up, we can look inside your car, find that piece of aluminum foil. You know what I mean? If you leave it on a dashboard, for example, that way we know what your footprints looks like, so that way we be able to track and be able to find you. It may save your life. But, for example, you just got lost. Can you backtrack yourselves out of the situation? Do you think it would be a good idea for you to be able to take a tracking class? No, it has to be from me. From any one of the instructors out there. There's a lot of tracking instructors across the United States that will agree with me with this, but you know what? You have to invest a lot of your own time, and invest it. You never know when your next neighbor going to get lost or the next neighbor children going to get lost. Can you actually help saving somebody's life? If you knew the basics, yes, you could. So if you ever have a chance, please take a tracking class. It does not have to be from me, by the way. It can be from anybody out there. But if you wish to take a tracking class from me, my website is worldwidetrackers.co. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And I hope this information might open up your mind and look into the skill that you should know. Thank you.